one red, pour out this Jameson for ancestors to swig.
You rescue me yet again. You put me first everywhere. You make me feel better than the multitudes. You rescue me yet again. You put me first everywhere. You make me feel better than the multitudes.
Against the black on black violence.
Why don't they have the platform that these Black Lives Matter groups have?
Well, one is because you got a liberal media that does not want to put a spotlight on black people organizing themselves and dealing with problems inside of the black community.
Because that would help us.
Well, I mean, that's a certain white supremacist sensibility.
Right, and that's what I say, so agree.
Absolutely, but that does not mean, though, that you don't want to keep these police accountable when they shooting these young folk day in and day out.
Accountable. They go
Not
to
day in
jail.
and day
They
out.
lose their
They
pension.
go to jail. You got one going to jail, brother. You got one going to jail out of all these shootings.
Let's correct the record. This is not happening day in, day out. In the year where they made it seem like it was the absolute worst in 2016, 16 unarmed black men were shot and killed. By rate, more white men were killed by...
It's 1,000
But also,
in the country.
unarmed can mean was armed. It can mean trying to kill you with the car.
That's correct. 16, even if we're being generous, 16, you had a higher chance as a black American man of being struck by lightning than you did of being shot unarmed. Okay, white men were killed by police officers at a higher rate, as were Hispanic men. We know none of their names because it was a narrative. It was all about the black vote. They jump a narrative, they decide who they're going to go after. In 2016, it happened to be police officers. We're going to see who it is in 2020. This is not about helping to save black lives. You can't tell me that you're focusing on 16 lives when a more unsafe place for a black person to be would be in its mother's womb. We're slaughtering our offspring at a way faster rate, and we have more black babies being aborted than born alive in cities like New York. So to me, it's all a farce, and I think it is because...
Yeah, and I can't speak, and I can't and I won't speak on abortions and things of that nature. Now, that's one thing that I would say, you know, as a woman, I don't even understand how she could say those type of... I mean, I understand, because don't get me wrong, Sister Ali talks about how, you know, the black woman has used Planned Parenthood and those type of clinics and stuff that are all in our neighborhoods. Now, you'll never see one of those in the white neighborhood, but they're all in the black neighborhoods for abortions and things like that, how they've been using abortion for birth control, which was crazy. So I understand where she's coming from with that. But once again, even when it comes to our single mothers out here, you know, doing what they feel may be right, it's her body, you know, and if she doesn't want to have the child, that's her choice. I don't think she should be demonized. I don't think a woman should be looked down upon. At that point in time, you have a decision to make, and if you feel as though the best decision in your life at that time is to abort the child, then once again, that's your choice. But we do have a lot of women out here who chose to keep the child, who can barely raise the child, who can barely, you know, do anything for the child, raising a child in a dysfunctional household, you know, children being abused, molested, things of that nature. So, I mean, you know, this whole conversation about abortion is, like I say, this is a woman's thing. And in my opinion, a man has no say-so in what a woman wants to do with her body. And like I stated, for women to judge and say other women, oh, you were aborting your baby, you do it like birth control, you know, that's their opinion, that's how they feel. But I don't think that's right. I don't think that's fair, because once again, you don't know that person's circumstances. You don't know that person may already be being molested by somebody, and they already know if they bring another child into this world, it's gonna just be, you know what I mean? Like, you just don't know what people are going through. So that's why I would never, you know, be like, yo, you know, you having abortions and this, that, and this. Like, no, like, that's your body. You know your life. You know what's best for you, and you know what's going to be best for that child. So I would always tell you to do what you feel is best.
Well, I think
the liberal media.
But I mean, you and I are critical of liberal media, but I think you have to have a bit more open-mindedness at the spectrum and the continuum. We've got statistics on the percentages of black men who will be pulled aside in the car. The percentage of men who, when we went to jail in New York City about, 8 years ago here with the stop and frisk, when you had over 90% of the folks stop and frisk were young black brothers and brown brothers.
There was
now,
not
those
over
are not
90%.
those are not killings. Those are not killings.
Right.
But
They were
they're on a
disproportionately
spectrum.
pulling over whites.
No. Oh, not at
As
all.
they appeared in the crime
brother.
stats, yes.
No,
The,
no.
the way
Even when
blacks
the
and whites
judge
appeared in the
don't
New York
go-
crime stats, they were pulled over less than that. There was more whites pulled over than they appeared in the crime stats.
But you remember the woman who
Bloomberg even considered that.
who was the judge when she went through all the statistics and said, "My God, under Bloomberg,
Yes,
you had
and she was later
3 point
fired for
something Meyer."
incompetence.
No.
She was a boob.
Yeah, no.
I'll
but
say something.
but
I'll ask a
jump right in.
question.
Sure.
Black Americans, we make up 13% of the population, and we account for over 50% of all the homicides in this country. Is it possible that we're getting arrested more because we're committing more of the crimes?
Oh no, in terms of
We're getting arrested more because the police are in our neighborhoods more, policing us more. Okay, so of course we're going to get. This is what I'm saying. This broad is, she has to be. Obviously, she was raised in a white neighborhood, like totally white neighborhood, because there's no way you can say these things and actually have been raised in a black neighborhood. Like, because if you were raised around black people in a black neighborhood, then these aren't questions that you would even have to ask because you witnessed it. You've seen these things happening. I've lived in the hood. Like, I've seen these things happening. So there is no question that they happen. Like, she funny.
getting arrested
I'm talking
for a particular
homicides.
crime.
13% of the population.
We're
over
talking about
57%.
police killing or being pulled over.
Okay, so
Right. So put it like this. She talk about, we're 13%. How many of us are in jail? Okay? Period. How many of us are in jail? How many of us are out here really killing? I mean, don't get me wrong. I know, with a lot of the things that have gone on in our communities lately, with especially with our music, it's getting better now. But these past few years with our music, with the King Vons and and the Mo 3s and the all the beefs and all these real life shooters, okay, because there's been a lot of these rappers that have passed away were shooters, were people who was out there, committing crimes, shooting people. So yes, I when she talks about, people getting shot in homicides in our community, they definitely went up with the promotion and the popularization of drill music. Spinning the block on your ops. You got an op, you got to kill him. Everything was about killing your adversary. And once again, as much as she wants to talk about black on black violence, our only adversaries are the people around us. Like, we could say the police are our adversaries, but they're not around us like that. Unfortunately, police aren't in the neighborhood as much as people think that they are. Okay, so when it comes to me spinning the block on my ops or if you do me dirty, this is the mentality for black people in our black community. You do something to me, I'm going to do something to you. Okay? Period. There's none of that, forgive and forget, none of that shit. If you come over here and you fuck with me, I'm going to come over there and I'm going to fuck with you. And that's just how the world turns, period. Because I feel like if I was in the white community, if I go fuck with a white person, then he's going to come over here and fuck with me. It's just how it goes. So, once again, it's all about your environment and where you're at. You do crimes to the people that you are around. I just hate that she keeps bringing that shit up. And black people kill each other. Yes, we do. But if we have more opportunities, more jobs, more money, more, infrastructure in our communities, then if we had more better paying jobs in our community, I guarantee the homicides would go down. I guarantee it, and I'm a nobody, but I can guarantee you, if you can get these niggas into a factory job making fucking $20-$25 an hour, where they can take care of themselves and take care of their household and be able to pay a little child support and shit like that, I guarantee you, crime will go down. But you know where they put the plants at? You know where they put the plants at? They put the plants out in the suburbs. Okay? They put the plants, hours away from the hood. So in order for you to even get to the job, you have to catch a bus and ride that bitch for an hour or two, okay, to get to work every day, okay? Or, I know a few plants that, first off, they're out in the suburbs. So once again, if you don't have no transportation, you really can't get there. A bus ain't gonna cut it because eventually the bus is gonna be late. And what's that gonna do? Make you late. And then what's that gonna happen? You're gonna end up losing your job. So they don't put no plants in the hood. They put all the plants in the suburbs. So where can black people work in the hood? Maybe a supermarket. There might be a supermarket in the hood you could work at. A corner store. I don't know, a restaurant. I mean, I'm trying to think of just different places in the hood for people to work. The dollar store. Like I say, the only place in the hood for black people to work in their neighborhoods are a corner store, a gas station, a fast food spot, and probably a couple Dollar Generals. That's the only thing in the black neighborhood that people can work at. So, like I stated, if you don't have transportation and you can't get out to the suburbs so that you can work at the plant to make you a decent amount of money, so maybe you can stack up, get you a car, get you a house, you know what I mean? Become a citizen, a productive citizen, and all you're doing, all you're around all day is fucking depression and, you know what I'm saying, and bad vibes and a bad environment, you're gonna succumb to your environment, unfortunately.
For driving in the car and so forth. When in terms of the sheer number of homicides, you've got a disproportionate number of poor black people, disproportionately men.
Well, we're disproportionately committing the crimes in this country, all of them, across the board.
No, not all of them. No. Not
right, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck? Like, we're just fucking criminals. Like, and she's black. So it just goes to show, like, she don't love herself. Like, she really, to me, she act like she white, but she black and she act like she not. We're killing that. We're killing ourselves. We kill everybody. We're just killers in this country. Like, what the fuck? I like how my boy Cornell looking at her like, bitch. Eli giving her that look like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, really? God damn, every time he say something, well, black people still killing each other. Like, god damn, is there anything else you want to talk about?
Crime. Not Wall Street crime.
I'm talking about, violent crimes.
You're talking about like
white-collar crimes.
Yes, absolutely.
You're correct about that.
You're right.
It just sounds like there's a lot of disingenuous agenda.
That's my
with
thing.
the
It's
left.
like, just be
and at the
real.
beginning of
But
this,
the
you were
problem
saying,
is, though, you got to have a press that is open enough to deal with all of these issues candidly.
No.
And that's
the press
what we
is
don't
obsessed with the Nazi shit. They're obsessed with hate. We live in a racist society. It's way worse than it was in the 70s and the 80s. We've gone backwards in time. And the thing I hate about that narrative, like I've got these friends, Max Hare, John Kinsman, they're Proud Boys. Mm. Proud Boys are a multi-racial club. There's gays, Jews in it, and they all love Trump. The DNC is pounding on them. They're a hate group. These guys are getting sentenced next week, Max Hare and John Kinsman. 3.5 years would be best case scenario, could be 15, because Antifa jumped them, and it was like the third Antifa fight of the night. Antifa jumped them, and they beat up Antifa. And the court said, you beat them up too much. And because of the Nazi narrative, the jury went, throw the book at him. One of the guys has 4 black kids, and he might not see those kids for 15 years because he fought back after an ambush. And it's the idiotic Nazi narrative.
They call me a Nazi sympathizer. They call me a person that supports Hitler. I mean, you're exactly right. They overuse that term, and the problem is that when you do that, when you're willing to paint such a broad stroke that you start calling black people white supremacists, it becomes very hard to take you seriously.
They call it multiracial white supremacy.
But you know, one of the ironies of Charlottesville was, well, 2 things. One, I saw a black man marching with the neo-Nazis when we were being spit at and cussed out.
No.
So I said,
You know why? Because
He was not a neo-Nazi.
no, I didn't say
There was-
neo-Nazi. He's marching
No,
with
he wasn't.
them.
There was 2 rallies that day. There was the statues.
That's what I was gonna say, it was about
and
the
then there was the
statues.
neo-Nazi crap after.
And it was
When
separate.
Trump said there's good people on both sides,
that's what he was talking
about the statue
Yep.
rally.
There were people that were just
No,
there.
but-
There were just
2
there.
rallies.
Black people that were there protesting because they didn't want the statue torn down
Yeah,
at
but
all.
but
And
these
then they
folks, I'm
mixed
talking about
that
the one with the
neo-Nazis.
mask and had the live ammunition with the neo-Nazi signs.
What, the Dukes, I mean the Dukes Hazard, the Confederate flag? Or neo-Nazi signs?
It was a combination of Confederate flags and neo-Nazi signs. You know, there's about 29 groups there. So it was a heterogeneous group of right-wing folk willing involved in violent activity.
That whole
I'm not gonna get into the Antifa talk because I don't get really too much into that rhetoric though. But I just wanted to, like I say, rebuttal this stuff because I just get, she talks every time I hear her talk. That's the first thing comes out of her mouth is black on black crime. We got to stop black on black crime. We got to stop killing each other before we can talk about the police killing us. No, we don't. Okay, we need to talk about the police killing us. Stop killing us first. Okay, we don't worry about the fuck we doing over here. We got us over here. Okay, we got some work to do over here. I'm not saying that we don't. Okay, definitely got some work to do over here. But shit, these cops, shit, Tyree Nichols, what just happened to him? These cops got to go, man. They got to go. They got to go, man. I am all for defunding the police. I'm sorry, but I just feel like the police, if we go back to the history of policing started out as slave catching. And what did they do as slave catchers? They would catch the runaway slaves, take them back to the plantation, or they could rape them, or they could kill them, or they could lynch them, or, man, when they caught the slave, they did what the fuck they wanted to do to the slave, okay? All they did was the same thing they did with slavery. They did it with policing, which is industrialized it, okay? They took slavery, industrialized it. Let's make this shit corporate, a business. They gonna still be slaves, but not know they slaving. Same thing with policing. We still gonna be catching slaves, but we not gonna call it slave catching. We gonna call it policing. So, defund the police. Tear that shit down. Tear it down and rebuild it. I believe communities can police themselves. Period. I believe there should be one army, government, military that you can call that like if put it like this. There should be a police, right? No, there should be no police. There should be called like patrol or state helpers or some shit like that. Something other than police. But still, you can have a layer of police there, right? But we don't touch that layer of policing. We don't have to call these guys unless what we're dealing with in our community is undeal-withable. Meaning, somebody called me and there's a hostage situation in somebody's house. Then no, I can't. I'm neighborhood watch. I can't be trying to talk a hot nigga. What? That's you call the police. But if it's just some shit where a nigga, domestic violence and somebody beating up on his wife. Oh well, nah, bro. You can't beat up on your wife, bro. Like, come on, me and my guy, we go over his house, tell him to chill out, handcuff him. Take him to our little holding cell. Let him stay there for the night or two or whatever. Maybe give him a ticket or some shit if that's what we do. I don't know. But, we take him out the house, take him to a holding cell, chill with the nigga, talk to him. Maybe talk with the nigga for the night. Hey, man, look, you can't be beating on your wife. What's going on? What's going on with the house? I mean, I'm just saying, then maybe when you let the nigga go, he might have a better understanding of treating his wife better. I don't know, man. But killing us, that shit don't work. That shit ain't working at all. I mean, it's working for them, but it's not working for us, okay? And these 5 black cops doing what they did to this young man, Tyree Nichols, that is unheard of, and it just really shows that it's not about race with the police. It's about slave catching. It's about blue, okay? That's the color that overpowers black and white. Fuck black and white. It's blue. So, yeah, so just wanted to put this out there because I seen this today and I was just like, man, I want to say something about this, so I'm gonna go ahead and put it on my page and see what people got to say. But yeah, Candace Owens, she is. I can't say she's a horrible person because, like I say, there's some things that she says that I can understand. But when she starts talking about black on black crime, like she doesn't have any idea, and when she talks about black on black crime before she talks about white supremacy, in my opinion, she's backwards with that dialogue. The dialogue should first be white supremacy because white supremacy is what's birthing this black on black crime. Because if we weren't, cut out of all wealth and we weren't given any opportunities, then there would be a lot less killing, a lot less shooting, a lot less robberies, a lot less of the nonsense. So appreciate the love. www.blackfathersofcleveland.com. Make sure you guys click the link in the bio. Appreciate the love. Peace.